it's your boy Oscino Fly back with another classic review, and this time we are reviewing Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. Now, if anybody remembers last year, I did Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. That was the 15th anniversary, and now we're on the 15th anniversary of The Cool. Obviously, y'all already know how I feel about Lupe Fiasco's one of my favorite rappers of all time, top three of all time. I feel like he's had classics. I feel like he's had ups and downs, and I feel like actually going back to reviewing some of this, he had some real good bangers, and especially out of this album, The Cool. Now, I didn't look no stats up, but I think I could just say that statistically, this is probably his most successful album. Also, this is probably where most of his music videos came from too, and I feel like this is where most of the songs that a lot of people know from him are from. I mean, I know people know Kick Push, but there was a lot of songs on here that I did hear on the radio that came from Lupe. And so I feel like this is, most people will say this is his best album between this and The Cool. I feel like they're both in the same one-on-one. You can enter switch out of them. But I will say, if we're going by statistic-wise, I feel like this was the more successful one out of his whole repertoire, if you kind of think about it. So, obviously, it's like everybody I know that's a Lupe fan loves this album, including myself. Now, going through this again, I feel like the same way I said about The Cool. It just took me back to those days where I used to just listen to Lupe non-stop and just have his tracks on shuffle. I used to have his tracks on shuffle and just go through different songs. And I knew some of his shit so front to back that any song that he put on, I used to just rap out of it. Now, did I go through the albums? Of course I did. One thing about The Cool is it's a darker album. It's darker than a lot of his albums, which a lot of them have something behind it. But if you know about The Cool was off of a song in the first album. It was talking about, if you remember, the Cool off of Food and Liquor. It's about Michael Young. Probably should have looked this up before but I'm pretty sure off of memory and off of GP that what it was. So this whole album is kind of about Michael Young before he got shot and killed, right? So it's just about, and that's where it comes from, a dark place. Even lyrically on this album, Lupe, I think there's a lot of things. I remember in a XXL magazine when he was promoting this album, and he was just like, a lot of things happened around this time where he was in a dark spot, and so a lot of this stuff is really dark, but it's still profound, it's still strong, it's still lyrical, and it's still some bangers on here. I mean, you start off with, his sister obviously saying a poem. It's a really, really deep poem. Shout out to Aisha Jacob. And then it goes to Free Chili, because I think this is the time where he got his sentencing, and he's been in jail for a minute, still in jail. So this is where you heard a lot of Free Chill. And obviously the song is called Free Chili. If we could build down those walls, then we would. And you know how they say they miss you and all that stuff, because obviously. But the album really starts off with Go Go Gadget Flow. It's one of the great starts, in my opinion, in hip hop, because it's just really rapid fire and it's really just straight to the point, and it's just like, it's one of those flows where you don't hear a lot from Lupe, but it's a real fast paced flow, and it's just bopping, and it's just like he just keeps going. So, and then you got that hook. I got that go 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 gadget flow. It starts with The Coolest, and it basically describing Michael Young. And it's basically describing who Michael Young is. It's like, Lord, please that sympathy and forgive my cool young history as the coolest nigga. What? The coolest nigga. What? And it's basically describing who Michael Young was. So that's where you get the introduction of The Cool. So then you have, after that, is Superstar, in which this is probably still Lupe's biggest hit. This is the one where I feel like people was rocking with Lupe. This was on 106 in Park. I don't know if it hit #1, but I was hearing this on the radio. This song got a fucking remix with T.I. and Jeezy. Like, this song was everywhere. And as a Lupe fan, like, I was happy because I feel like finally they're giving him the recognition that he was getting. Because, you know, Jay-Z was already calling him a genius. He was on other people's tracks. And, like, I don't know, you know, people was really respected. Yeah, they was respecting lyricism. But it was just like, who was a better lyricism? It was like, everybody was saying Wayne or, you know, Lloyd Banks or, you know, Jay-Z. Hell, this is when Drake was getting popping. So, people was just like, yo, Drake is lyrical as hell. I remember, like, having these arguments, like, who was more lyrical between, Lupe and Drake, and I was like, Lupe, of course. But, you know, this is where the Drake craze, I want to say this is where the Drake craze was starting to build up, but people were still on Wayne. It goes to that, it goes to Paris, Tokyo, which is another one of his successful songs where it's about a love song to this girl, and then, you know, it's about traveling. And so, let's go to sleep in Paris and wake up in Tokyo. Have a dream in New Orleans and find love in Chicago, man. And it's just a very vibey song where it's just like, I feel like if you driving, you would definitely bang with this song. But it's just like him traveling. This song is basically about him traveling across the world, and, you know, but with his girl still on his mind. I can be butchering this, but that's what I got out of it. And then you got High Definition with Snoop, and this is honestly one of Snoop's actually better verses. If you ever really look at this, Snoop had a dope ass verse on here that I feel like a lot of people don't miss. But I mean, like I said, you're not gonna say it's better than Lupe. I don't know if I can say that, but Snoop had a fucking fire ass verse on here, in my opinion. Snoop actually did his thing. This is a very underrated verse if you really kind of look back at this. And then you got one of my favorite songs on here, Gold Watch, which they sampled from Set It Off. Oh, get it down with some nail. Yeah. And like I love the you know, the guitar in the back with the, and he got this this flow, and my corduroy jeans, my head full of wallet, the job t-shirts, and then the street knowledge, and you know, and he had this bouncy ass flow throughout the whole song, and I just like it. Cause it's just like real bouncy, it's a real catchy flow, especially when you know all the lyrics, you know, the wings, and then he has one of my favorite quotes in here is, the wings don't make you fly and the crown don't make you king. Gold Watch has always been one of my favorite songs on here. Like, this is what I tell people, like, he was in his bag. Then you got Hip Hop Saved My Life. I feel like this is a special song for a lot of people, especially Nikki Jean that was on here. I remember, like, when YouTube was just popping, and there's a video of Nikki Jean. This is the first time you hear Nikki Jean, you see who Nikki Jean was. And there's a video, and I don't know if it's still there, but there's a video of Nikki Jean going into her car and popping this CD in and going straight to Hip Hop Saving Her Life, and she's crying. And it's just like this overless joy of her being on an album, and then her being, I think the music video came out around this time too, and the video is about Slim Thug. You know, the song is about Slim Thug and how he came out. I never knew that until this year. And he's talking about, you know, Hip Hop Saved My Life was about, you know, the journey through Slim Thug. This was also on 106 in Park a lot. This was also on MTV a lot. This was also like, especially MTV Jams. This was like, this video was played a lot too, just like Superstar. That's why I'm saying, like, commercially, I think that was the word I'm looking for. Commercially, this is probably Lupe's more successful album commercially, because everybody, even though a lot of people still do fuck with this album, they still call it a classic, obviously. But I want, if I find a video, I'm gonna put this in the description box because it's a very sweet video. And then, like, you get to see her in the music video, and you can tell, like, she is just excited to be there, and you know, she's happy and shit. Even though she's telling the story, you can tell, like, her dreams are coming true. So it goes to Intruder Alert, and this is where it gets really dark, in my opinion. There's a lot of dark stuff in it, but it's like a bunch of sad stories, and it tells us, you know, tells the stories about a lot of things that I don't know if I can say on, but it's not dirty, but it's just like, damn, these people have really been let's just say people have really been violated. Let's just say that. Streets on Fire, we can talk about this. Streets on Fire is ahead of its time, in my opinion. Especially now, you know, when we just came from a pandemic and COVID was COVID was rising, COVID was everywhere, and it's just like disease, centers and cure from the infection, no safe zone, no cure from the infection. And he's and you don't know what disease he's talking about, but if you put COVID in here, you can feel like he's talking about COVID. That's why I feel like this shit is ahead of the time. And it's just like the scientist says it's all inside the mind. The little boy says it happened to all the girls. You know, the bomb says it's gonna kill the whole wide world. And it's just like, who is you blaming? It's like this disease is killing. It's just like, instead of trying to find a cure, we're putting the blame on people, and then everything is just going up in just flames and shit. And like, you can really say that Streets on Fire, like, listen to it. If you listen to it, you would think that, you know, Lupe is predicting the future. That's how deep I feel like Streets on Fire is. It's just like, it's amazing and uncanny of how, like, you look at this, and if you think about the pandemic, you're just like, damn, Lupe kind of predicted this shit back then. Then we get into Little Weapon, which Nikki G is also on. If y'all remember Rhyme and 8, and he had that little mashup between him and Gorilla Songs, and because it starts off with the verse that he did from a Rhyme and 8, Kids with Guns. You know, a little Terry got a gun he got from the store. He bought it with the money he got from the store. Damn, I used to remember this shit all the fucking time. It's like, but if y'all already know how it goes. Man, I'm like, a little Terry got a gun he got from the store. He bought it with the money he got from the store. It's that middle part. Took the pennies out of beds and put the pennies on the floor. Little Khalil got a gun that he got from the rebels who killed the infidels from the American. There was a bomb on his face, a mask on his face. Preached 5 times a day and listen to him heavy metal. Little Alice got a gun he took from his dad. He snuck in his person, his black book bag, his black nail polish, black suit. Black man, he's gonna blow away the bully that just pushed his ass. For some reason, the little Terry shit is, but I know that everything else in it. But basically, it starts off with that rhyme, and then it's, you know, I killed another man today, shot him in the back with a hand grenades. It's just about, and I don't know if it was about, you know, the kids in Africa, just like child. I don't know if they're called child rapper soldiers. The kids in Africa that, you know, had guns. It was a movie about it, you know, Idris Elba was in it, which he did a phenomenal job. I don't know if he was talking about that. I know Bishop G, his verse, it was about online gaming, I guess. Cause you know, if I was from the consoles, I ate my own precious dignity, one less nigga breathe. I think that was about online gaming, if I'm correct. It's just, Gotta Eat Dumbing Down, I feel like this is 2 of the most lyrical songs. One is lyrically on purpose, obviously, but Gotta Eat, it was basically mixing the street life and, you know, this whole analogy of street life with fast food. Man saying life ain't easy. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. Streets be all like, feed me, feed me. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. And, you know, obviously, like, the dealer, but he's relating to everything in fast food references. So, and then, like, it's a dope ass mixing analogy. It's also one of my favorite songs on here that I used to just put on repeat a lot because I love the way he had that analogy mix, and like, plus it was a good, and then he was talking about LUPN, which obviously we never seen LUPN. Dumb It Down. I feel like Dumb It Down is the start of people going on Genius. Now, if you're a Lupe fan like I am, like, if you go back to any of his old songs, there's niggas breaking down his lyrics. Now, I feel like this is for people that, you know, get on Genius. This is one of the reasons why they did it, because Dumb It Down is like you're Dumb It Down is like a history, like a calculus quiz of Lupe lyrics and him just breaking down, him just saying some shit, and then you just trying to break out what the fuck he's saying. And it's funny because the chorus is all about him. You're going over people's heads. You know, I'm about to sing the lyrics. You're going over people's heads, Lou. They're telling me that they don't feel you. We ain't graduating from school, nigga. Dumb it down. And the whole thing is dumb it down. You know, and then like the second verse, the second hook, you know, you're shedding too much light, Lou. You make it want to do right, Lou. They're getting self-esteem, Lou. It's like the people is just like, oh, instead of them trying to make them do better or do the nigga shit, you wanted him to do more of intelligent shit. So like, and like this is some of the most intelligent bars. It's just like, and it sounds weird when you don't. Also, this had a music video for it too, by the way. But it's just like if I read it, if I sound it out loud. Like the first time you hear it, it's just like, what the fuck is he talking about? But when you break it down, it like everything makes sense. Like in my brainless, in my headless, like it could buy crane or foreplay is sexist. You know, it's lines like that. I feel this, I'm hear this, I'm earless. This means peerless, this means eyeless. Screaming sounds of my hearers. That means I'm blindness. But I can find it, I can fear this nearness. It's just like shit like that. It's just like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I know I butchered it a little bit. But and like at the end of the song, which came from the ignorant freestyle that he did, is Bishop G. They told me I should calm down, cousin, but I flatly refuse. I ain't dumbed down nothing. So obviously, just like the I could just talk about this album all fucking day. This is really one of my favorite joints. You know, you got your Hello Goodbye, and then To Die. Hello Goodbye, it starts, I don't want to say I like the song, but out of everything, it's probably the least favorite song. I don't think it's a bad song. I feel like it's a filler song, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. I always looked at that as a filler song, but I do like the song. To Die. This is where Michael Young Youth dies, and this is, honestly, and, between him and Gemini. Oh, he's called Gemstones in here, but he was also known as Gemini. And I always like the back and forth that them two rapped about. One's from the, I think Gemini's from the West Side. No, he's from South Side. Lupe's from West Side. But I like their back and forth in this one, and it reminded me of We On. If you ever heard of We On, like that's one of the best, you know, back and forths at a high velocity that I felt like it was really good. And then this is also where Michael Young Youth dies, where like he's been set up and niggas shoots him in the head. Which leads us to Put You On Game, which is the hardest shit on this album, also the darkest. It's just like him speaking to you, and it's like, let me put you on game. It's just like everything like bad that you wanted to do, and then it's just like, that's like the evil Kermit wanted to tell you to do the bad shit. Overall, as you can tell, even though I butchered some of this shit, I love the fucking album. It's one of the best albums. It's like, I still listen to this album to this day, even though I butchered some of the words. But I love this fucking album. I think it's one of those real good. Obviously, I think it's a classic. It's definitely a classic, and I feel like this is what, to me, put Lupe on the map, and how ever since this album dropped, I was seeing him more and more in shit. I was seeing him more on TV. I was seeing him more performing, especially songs like Paris, Tokyo, especially Superstar. I was seeing him perform Superstar a lot. I was seeing him perform a lot, so I feel like people's getting him love. I know he was on the BET Hip Hop Awards cypher, but I don't know if it was because of this album or Food and Liquor. But I remember seeing him, and then like his verse there. You know, the game says the game is the belly of the beast. It's a wire test with teeth. Nike socks for ears. Pistol in the heart. Like y'all, if y'all seen it, just watch it. It's like Lupe to me will always be a dope rapper to me, and still one of my top 3. Anytime he drops something, I'm on it. Obviously I've been reviewing this shit for like the longest. Y'all know me, I love this shit. Even some of his verse albums, I've really loved. It's definitely a great American rap album. I'm sorry, I just thought that album was kind of trash. Obviously, this album is a classic, and you cannot tell me that anybody that's not listened to this think it's a classic. It is a highly regarded album, and if you want to, and for the 15th anniversary, I feel like people should go back and listen to it. Not just Lupe fans, but people was just like, if I want to get into Lupe, which album I listen to, I would tell people either listen to the Cool or Food and Liquor. But I would probably put on the Cool first. Not gonna lie to you. Even though I love Food and Liquor, if I had to show one album, it'd definitely be the Cool. Because I feel like this is, like I said, this is where he was in his bag. So, how do y'all feel about the Cool? Do y'all feel the same way I feel about the Cool? Do you think it's his best album? Do you feel like the Cool Food and Liquor is his best album? Let me know what you guys think. Tune in. My name is Oscino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.
Fancy ass man wear glove of rings, flying around town in a tub of wings. Found out how to make love to fiends. He mixing that fudge with the drug of dreams. She too teenage to have a drug of choice, but she fuck with that Royce like she love Detroit. She rolled. Pharaoh.